It's been a while. The last video I made, I'm pretty sure, was predicting Mario Kart 9 tracks. I'm pretty sure. Um, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. It's something that I tried doing a couple times. Um, Something that I did like back in late 2023 was like I was gonna rank all the tracks. Whoa, I was gonna rank all the tracks, but I decided not to. And I did my top 10 tracks like about a year ago, but obviously since then my opinions have changed. And yeah, I mean, first things first, we do not need a double S tier. Let's get that out of here. And let's just start right away with Mario Kart Stadium. I think it does its job well as a beginner track. It's one of the better ones in the series. So, but I can't really bring myself to put it higher than C tier, just because it's a beginner track. It serves its purpose well, but that's really it. Like it's unfair to rank a beginner track like higher, like in the B tier, like with all the other like more like outgoing tracks, if you know what I mean. I feel like this is the same thing with Water Park. It feels like it fills the same criteria as Mario Kart Stadium does, as like a simple beginner track. It teaches you the underwater gimmicks. So I think I'll also put it in C tier, but I think I'll put it above Mario Kart Stadium, just because I like the theming of it a little bit more. Sweet Sweet Canyon is really the first real track of the game. It's all right. It's not bad. It introduces the split path gimmick that this game likes to use quite a bit, and it's not a bad gimmick. We'll see that in other tracks later. But I feel like out of the split path gimmick tracks, this is one of the weaker ones. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's definitely above Water Park and Mario Kart Stadium, but I think I'm also gonna put that in C tier. Thwomp Ruins. This is definitely the best Mushroom Cup course. It has a lot of options. Like you go anti-gravity in some areas, or you could just stay on the ground. You could go underwater. You can glide across the cave. Or, not cave. What am I talking about? The glide across the water. And it's a pretty solid track, but like it doesn't really do more, I feel like it's a Mushroom Cup track, to be fair, but you've seen, I have to put it in B tier. I've seen like better Mushroom Cup tracks in the past, like Mushroom Gorge, Toad's Factory, Shy Guy Bazaar. They're all a lot more outgoing than Thwomp Ruins is, I feel like. So I'm only enough to put it in B tier. Mario Circuit. Again, it's just your average track. I don't know. It's fine. It's not too bad. I think I'll also put it in C tier, but I'm going to put it lower than the rest of them just because it doesn't really have the excuse anymore of being a beginner track, since we're kind of already past those with like Mario Kart Stadium and Water Park. So it doesn't really have that excuse anymore. So yeah. Toad Harbor, I think I'm also going to put it in B tier, but I'm going to put it above Thwomp Ruins. It's like a different level of B tier. Thwomp Ruins is like low B tier, and then Toad Harbor is like high B tier. It's like on the verge of A tier. But the reason why I think it doesn't reach A tier is that some areas, it just feels kind of empty for some reason, and like soulless. I don't know why. It just feels like there's like not a lot going on in some areas. I don't know. It's not as lively as I remembered it was, because I played Toad Harbor recently. It's not as lively as I remembered it. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still a really good track. It's still fun. I think it's the best track so far. So, Twisted Mansion. That's also gonna go in the C tier. Do I think it's better than Mario Circuit though? A little bit. I think it's a little bit better. But if you asked me like about a month ago, this is probably my least favorite Flower Cup track. But it's gone on me very slightly. It's still just your typical mansion track, typical spooky track like we haven't seen in the past, like Ghost Valley, Boo Lake. Yeah, those were like the more like basic ones in my opinion. And this kind of falls in that category as well. It doesn't really do anything we haven't seen before, like the haunted house gimmick, Luigi's Mansion. And then we have the underwater, which just feels very out of place. And I don't know. I like the end, though. I like the glider section. I like going in the library. That's cool. I like that part. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm debating on putting it higher than Mario Circuit right now. But I think it's going to stay below it, just because Mario Circuit was like a beginner track. So it gets a better excuse for it. Shy Guy Falls is our first A tier track. This track is really good. This is like where we're getting to the good stuff. This is one of the few times I feel like Anti-Gravity. Here's my take on Anti-Gravity. I feel like it is flawed. But Shy Guy Falls is the first Anti-Gravity track where I feel like this is where it's necessary. Like when you're driving up the waterfall and down it, it actually feels like you're driving up and down the waterfall. And I feel like this is just something that we've never seen in the series, and it's definitely something we've never seen in the series before. It's fresh and it's new. It's not like a old idea. So I really like Shy Guy Falls. All right. Where is it? Why is it not here? Where is the track that I've been waiting for? Here we go. Sunshine Airport. This is definitely my favorite track in the game. This is S tier. This is the peak of S tier. It's just perfect. Every detail, it has so many details too. Like, I like the tropical setting in the background. Airport with a tropical setting, just it feels like you've just arrived on vacation. Really cool. I like all the details, like with like the speaker in the background calling like all the terminals and all like the track names. And I like it when like you're on the runway racing with the planes, and I like going on like the glider. It's like, because the glider, like you can barely hear the noise because the airplane is so loud. So I just like that little touch there. I like driving through the airplane. I like driving below it. I like how like there's crates that they represent the luggage going through, and they have items in there. So I think that's just a really cute touch. I just think this track is really cool. If I had to, one complaint that I have is maybe we could have driven through the airport just a little bit longer. But I still love this track. It's amazing. It's amazing. Amazing track. One of the best tracks of all time. Dolphin Shoals. Now this was in my top 10. And ever since then I was thinking, did I overrate this track a little bit? My answer is no. I love Dolphin Shoals. I actually like it better than I used to, believe it or not. And I just replayed it again. I remembered how good it was. The beginning, you're like jumping in the rings, like with the dolphins. So like you are basically a dolphin jumping through the rings. And that's just so cool. It's really cool. And I don't know, I love this track. What happens after that? We turn into like the cave section. They have like the pipes. We have like the useless left side, whatever. But, you know, the middle side and the right side, So much variety. You can just take the normal pipes way. You could take like a lower speed boost, or you can go into a cave, which is where I usually take, and take the other speed boost. And then you go on the back of a moray eel, and then you're outside. I didn't even realize before, but there's like a whirlpool right below you. It's so cool. It's like, again, these cute little details that can really go a long way. And it's just, I love this track. It's really good. I think it earned its place in S tier. I like it a lot. Dolphin Shoals, good track. Electrodrome. You know what? Let's just keep the bangers going. You know what? And you know what? My opinion has changed. This wasn't in the top 10 when I made the video. Dolphin Shoals was. Now I think Electrodrome is slightly better, but it is close because they are both fantastic tracks. And Electrodrome has definitely grown on me. As you can see, now it's an S tier. It's probably in the top 10, at least in the base game. And yeah, it's a great track. You just start near the stage. You're near the stage to start, which is really cool. And then there's this like area where you drive on, and it's like music plays as you drive on the area. There's like a red trail behind you. I think that's a cool touch. I was like blown away when I first saw it. I like the green and pink path. This is definitely one of the best uses, if not the best use, of the split path gimmick. And they're like, the background details, again, really sell this track. Like, you look in the background, you can see people dancing. You could see like little Star Cup logos, a disco ball. You could see the moon in one area. It's cool. And then while you have all that happening, there's another rhythm part where more music plays. When you're on the green or pink path, different sounds play depending on which path you take. And then there's another glider section with the head bobbing piranha plants. They definitely did not forget about those in Music Park. So yeah, great track. Alright, we don't need to talk about this one. Just put it all the way near the top. There we go. Yep, the entire Star Cup right here in S tier. This is the best cup in the game, if you couldn't tell, by my opinion. This is definitely the best cup in the game. Is all 4 tracks are bangers. And Mount Wario is no exception. It's like one of the few tracks I feel like it's like an actual journey. And it's great. It's really great. You start from not even the top of the mountain. You start higher. You start in a plane, and then you land in the top of the mountain. You go through the icy parts. Then you enter a cave. Then you go on a river or glide, depending on your option. And then there's a dam. That part's cool. The dam part with like the speed boosts going on. You want to catch them before they go into the water. Then we go in the forest, which is definitely the hardest part of the track, but it's not hard frustrating. It's hard fun. And then the finale, you have the crowd cheering on you. You're sliding down, you're skiing down. And then, again, Dolphin Shoals had the little rings. Mount Wario has them again. But this time you're gliding in the air instead of swimming in the sea. And I like it. I think it's cool. I like the epic music in the background, the crowd cheering you on. It's a great feeling. It's definitely an adventure course. The section courses definitely feel like more adventurous, which I know I'm going to sound like that's like very repetitive to say, especially like 3DS Rainbow Road. Everyone says it's like an adventure. This, I feel like I'll say that, but except for 3DS Rainbow Road, I'll say for Mount Wario, this one's like really an adventure. It's very fun. You're truly racing from the top to the bottom of a mountain. Cloud Top Cruise, honestly, this one's fine. It's probably better than Thwomp Ruins. I don't think it's better than Toad Harbor though. I don't know. It feels very short. It feels like it could have been so much more. A like waste potential track. I don't know. Not Shy Guy Bazaar. I was thinking Shy Guy Bazaar because I saw Shy Guy Falls for a second. Cloud Top Cruise. Yeah, it's fine. Doesn't it could have been more. You could like very quickly on the beanstalk, then go on the clouds. And then you go on the clouds for like a bit, and then you're on an airship. You launch in. This is the fun part. You're on like a strip of ground in like the middle of the air with like lightning. That can make for some chaos, and that's I feel like is what brings the track up to B tier. And you go down. You're on the beanstalk for a while, and the shortcut. The shortcut is good. Bone Dry Dunes. I feel like this one also gets into either the top of C or the bottom of B. But I think I'm comfortable leaving it here. It's not as bad as people say it is. I used to be one of those people who really hated this track. It's not that bad. Then again, it's not like that good either. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. You know what? Do I put it above Thwomp Ruins? I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. I'll put it above Thwomp Ruins. So yeah, that's Bone Dry Dunes. It's a perfectly fine course. It's pretty good. Except for the part in the middle of the track with like the two split paths with like the piranha plants in the middle. That part is very janky. And other than that, it is a solid desert course. Bowser's Castle. This one's pretty good. I think it's slightly better than Cloud Top Cruise. But yeah, it's pretty good. There's no thwomps in this Bowser Castle, which I feel like is important to point out because there's thwomps in every single Bowser Castle except for this one, which is kind of crazy, but I think it's unique for that. I like the Bowser statues that like have lasers. Adds for some lap variety. What else do I like about this course though? I like the little anti-gravity like strip. You go in like a boiler room, the wrecking ball. And I like the Bowser statue, yeah, we've seen it before, but I like the waves you get to trick off of. They're fun. I like them. And other than that, I really don't have much to say. Sorry, charger fell. Other than that, I don't have much to say about Bowser's Castle, you know. It's fine. It's a fine course. Alright. Is the trend really just, like, underwhelming with this cup? Rainbow Road is also going to B tier, but below Bowser's Castle. And above Cloud Top Cruise. It's not bad, Rainbow Road. It's pretty fun. I like the, I don't know, beginning's kind of basic. The middle's cool. There's like Toad Factory conveyor belts. That's cool. The end is really what puts it in B tier though, instead of like a lower tier. I like the end with the split paths. I like how you can jump from one path to another. That's like one of the few split path tracks that do that. And I think it's a good track. And then the boosters at the end. Pretty cool. Alright. Moo Moo Meadows. It's pretty alright. Again, it gets an excuse. You know, I'll put it right there. It gets the beginner track excuse. The cows are cool. The glider section's cool. Guys, I'm struggling. What else do I say about this track? The music's pretty good. I used to really like the music to this track when I was like younger. So yeah, there's that. Mario Circuit GBA, this track definitely, you know what? This track grew on me. I like this track now. I realized why everybody picks it online now. I was foolish back then. I was like, oh, why does everyone pick this course online? I was a fool. I was foolish. I see why now. I see the reason now. It's a good track. That's why. It's great. I like this track. It's definitely higher B tier, as you can tell. It's just a fun basic track. You go in the air, you get the speed boost, and then when you land, I didn't realize this, but you could see the layout in front of you, like, because it's not completely flat. It's like it has some elevation, so you could see some of the track. It's cool. It's cool. I like the little. I like it. Feels like you're going in like a deep forest in the second part, and then the end. They have like the little pit stop. It's a cool track. It's a nice simple track. Cheap beach though. You know what? Shell Cup might not be so bad, after all. I think I'll put it in A tier, but at the lower end, I really like Cheap Beach. It has a lot of variety. You could stay on the sand. You could go on the left side of the water where there's more crabs. You're less shallow in the water. More shallow in the water. And there's more ramps. Or you can go on the right side of the water where they have more shortcut potential, more turns, but no like ramps to trick off of though. And then they have the jungle section, which just a very chaotic place online. A lot of items fly over the place, and it's peaceful. It's a peaceful place, and then there's more ramps. It's a perfect little beach track. It's probably the best beach track we've gotten. Dolphin Shoals, actually. It's the best beach track we've gotten, as you can see. But this is probably one of them. The Shell Cup. You're doing so good. What happened? Toad's Turnpike. I know, this is like the running joke in my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe top 10 tracks videos. Like, oh, Toad's Turnpike is the best course ever. Well, this is my realistic ranking, and I am sad to say that Toad Circuit is in fact not the best course ever. It's not the worst course though. It's not the worst course ever like I used to think it was. Probably at the time. That's probably why I kept saying it was the best. Probably because I thought it was the worst course. It's not the worst course. There are two things I like about this track. I like driving on the walls, even though it's significantly slower. And I like going on the cars, especially the glider cars, and I like gliding over the finish line in the middle of the lap, like over the bridge. And that is basically it. The rest of the track is pretty boring, and I don't understand why you would pick this traffic course when you have 3 other much better traffic courses in the same game. But if it was pre-Booster Course Pass, then I'd understand why you'd pick it, because it was probably the only traffic course, I think. Dry Desert, it's not too bad. It's alright, but it's only here because of the Oasis section. I know it ruins the name, Dry Desert, whatever. It's really the only good section, let's be honest. It's fun to trick off the geysers, even though, again, I think they're significantly slower than just not tricking off them. But I don't care. They're fun. And I want to have fun in Mario Kart. And that is the fun part. And one other good part is tricking off of, the falling pillars. That is also fun. Other than that, it is pretty boring. There is a lot of shortcut potential, which I like. You know what? I'll put it up here. Just because I said more good things about this track than any of these other tracks. So I'll put it here. Still not great, but it's definitely one of the better ones out of the mid ones, so there you go. I'm not a big fan of this one. I'm sorry. Not a big fan of Donut Plains 3, you know what? I'm tempted just to put it in F, just because we don't have an F tier track yet. I don't even hate this course. You know what? I'm going to do it. There's no replay value here. I don't really like this track, honestly. I didn't like it in Super Mario Kart. I don't like it here. You could go underwater now. That's cool, but you can go on underwater. Like, that's cool, I guess, but you can go on underwater in so many other tracks. Here, let's do like a quick count real quick. Out of the tracks we go. Okay, so 1, we got Don't Plains 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That has 8 tracks so far where you can go underwater, including Donut Plains 3. So if there are 7 other better tracks where you can go underwater, why would you pick this one? I guess you could say it has the Monty Moles, but Moo Moo Meadows also has that. Royal Raceway. So that's pretty good. Probably put it above all these other ones. It'll probably sit here. It's another thing. It's another Mario Circuit situation. It's just a nice little circuit track. It's not that boring, though. Not a boring circuit track, because it has a lot of turns. And then, after you're done with all the turns, you got the Piranha Plants and, like, the Speed Boost shortcut. Then once that's done, go through straight away with, like, a bunch of Speed Boosts. Anticipation builds up. The bells are ringing above you. And then you glide and you see Peach's Castle. And it's pretty cool. And then the end is Item Chaos again. And I don't know, I like this course. It's cool. DK Jungle is probably going to go in the same place as Royal Raceway. It might go a little lower, though. I think I'll put it right there. It was good on 3DS. Still pretty good here. It's just a good track. But the thing about DK tracks, this is probably the worst DK track in the game. It's because, like, we've seen so many amazing DK tracks. We have DK Mountain, DK Jungle Parkway, DK Summit, and then DK Jungle just, like, being good, just, like, doesn't, like, sit very well. But the track is still good. You could do a lot of tricks, and the glider shortcut is fun. And I like how they made the little end. I like how they made, like, the little off-road, not off-road, like the shorter path. The shorter path, I like how they made that, like, you have to separate from the long path instead of connecting them in 7, because it makes that path a little bit harder to take than it was in 7. So, yeah. Mario Stadium. Again. This is probably going right here as well. I will say about this retro track selection, it is very consistent. It is a very consistent retro track selection. Mario Stadium is just good. It's a good track. It's definitely better than it was on DS, because the DS, it was ahead of its time. Now you can trick off the speed boosts and the mud section. Now there's an anti-gravity section, which I think it's, again, one of the another rare times where it kind of works. The underwater section, it's fine. I can deal with it. I know not a lot of other people like it, but it's fine. I don't think it's too bad. So yeah.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri. You know what? I'm going to keep that in the video because it's funny. And then Sherbet Land. We're just back to being average. It's probably going to go in the same. It's probably at the top of the. It's probably the king of the average courses for now. I like all the opportunities. You could, like, either go below water, where it's like a little longer or a little quicker, depending on which. Depending on which part of the course you are on. But you can also stay above the water. You can take more shortcuts, possibly. So yeah, I like the variety there. But other than that, what else does it have? I will give it credit though. It is definitely better than the Double Dash version with its already slippery controls on a slippery ice track. It's better than it is on Double Dash. On Double Dash, it is hell. I do not recommend it. Oh, Music Park. Oof. I think this is where my hot take comes in. I think Music Park is just okay. I still think okay, I think it's good, but I have some complaints. I think there are parts in this track where are very empty. This track is way more empty than I thought it was than I remembered it being. It kind of like Toad Harbor syndrome. Toad Harbor, a lot more empty than I remember it being. Music Park suffers that same thing. The only part where I feel like there's like stuff is like, sure, driving on the instruments, yeah, that's cool. But the only part where I feel like that there's like actual stuff going on is the part with the music notes jumping up and down. Other than that, it just feels like a pretty empty track. But I mean, yeah, driving on the instruments is cool. Piranha Plans, Bop Their Heads are cool. It still doesn't stop it from being a good track. Didn't say it wasn't a good track. It is a good track, which is why it's here in the B tier. This course, it's not bad, but it's gonna go in C tier just because. Where do I put it in C tier? I'm gonna put it above Twisted Mansion. It's probably on the lower end of C tier, honestly, just because I never really look forward to play Yoshi's Valley for whatever reason. It's not bad. It's just I don't really look forward to playing it, and I don't know. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. It's fine. It's very flawed though. Once you find the quick path, you're just gonna take it every time. The rest of the course is not bad though. You know, whatever. Could have picked a different course. Didn't have to pick 4 N64 courses until there's one left. TikTok Clock sits comfortably at the top of B tier. This course is good. I like it. I think the glider section is flawed too because it removes the most interesting, or one of the most interesting parts of the track, because I lied. This is the most interesting. Unlike the DS version, you can drive on the little gears. I think it's pretty cool. In the beginning, it's not that big a deal, but in the end, you can do a shortcut, which is cool. And I like the little things at the end where you can trick off of. Piranha Slide. This course has definitely grown on me quite a bit. I like Piranha Plant Slide enough. I like it a lot, actually. It's an A tier. Yeah, again, I think my real hot take comes with Cheap Beach being all the way up here. What can I say? But Piranha Plant Slide, good track. Not really a single flaw. They improved everything, I feel like, for the 7 version. The glider section is so much better. You like, instead of like driving across, like you're kind of gliding up, so it's much more climactic. It's a lot harder than the 7 version too, I feel like. Turns are sharper, and I like how the underwater section is so much more open. That's what puts it in A tier. It's a lot more open, feels more natural. In 7 it was so closed. Yeah. Grumble Volcano. I like it. I like Grumble Volcano, but do I like it more than Cheap Beach and Shy Guy Falls? Not anymore. This used to be one of my favorites, but it's still really good. I still really like it. I like it better than the Wii version, which is unpopular opinion, but I like it better than the Wii version because there's a glider section, and actually is kind of climactic to take it, even though I like to take the one without the glider section. And I like the color scheme more here. It pops out more. It feels more natural here. I mean, lap variety too. The course literally falls apart as you drive through it. yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. That's really all I have to say about Grumble Volcano. I just think everything it tries to do, it does well, and then some. It's a good course. And then we have Rainbow Road, which is pretty freaking good. I'll put it at the bottom of A tier. It's a short course, sure, but it's fun. The glider section's fun. The little speed boosts you gotta drive through, fun. Both the glider sections, I mean, like the one in the beginning, the one at the end. I was talking about the beginning one when I said glider section, but the end one's fun too. It's climactic. The speed little rings, they're fun. Again, beginning and end of the track. And I like the chain chomps. They're actually kind of a threat this time. I feel like in the N64 version, they were really easy to avoid. By the way, if I'm talking about other Mario Karts, I played every single one. So that's how I can compare them. I'm also comparing them to the past versions. So, yeah. N64, Rainbow Road. The chain chomps are a lot harder to avoid in this version than they are in the N64 version, which is good. The track is not 6 minutes long anymore. And I like the waves they create, and doing tricks is fun. Yoshi Circuit. Yeah, probably goes in the same place. I think I'll put it a little higher, though. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'll put it here. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's a solid circuit track. You're on an island. Did you know that it's shaped like a Yoshi? Yeah, everyone does. But I think you could see Daisy Cruiser in the back. Not sure, though. I think in Double Dash. The one complaint, actually two complaints I had. In Double Dash, they got rid of the tunnel shortcut and the Yoshi copters. But they made up for it because they had more different shortcut that I actually like a lot. A Piranha Plant shortcut where you can jump over the little ledge next to a Piranha Plant. And I think it is a cool shortcut, especially in 200cc. I like it a lot. And I like this one a lot because it has more detail than the Double Dash version. The Double Dash version does feel a little bit soulless, and this one has a lot more life to it. It's like the anti-Toad Harbor. It is the opposite of Toad Harbor, in my opinion. Excite Bike. If you asked me a while ago, this is probably my least favorite track in the game, but now now it's going to be the king of all average tracks. I'm comfortable with this up here. I can't rank it higher. It's literally just an oval with tricks on it. I can't rank it higher. But for what it is, it actually it's a great execution, I think. This track has definitely grown on me, which I did not think was possible because it was just a circle. But for what it is, it's still really good, and I'll give it credit for that. It's not a bad track. But I can't rank it any higher just because it is a circle. Dragon Driftway is really good, honestly. I'll probably put it right where Yoshi Circuit is, but a little below. There's not really much to this track. You are driving on a dragon, though. Specifically I think his name's Gobblegut from Galaxy 2. I actually didn't play Galaxy 2. I only know that from other people saying that he's from Galaxy 2, so I just took their word for it. So yeah, you drive on the dragon. It's pretty cool. Another case where anti-gravity actually works because it feels like you're driving upside down. And I like the little part at the end where there is multiple ramps you can trick off of. Yeah, It's a pretty fun course. Also, I just realized that every single course right now in S tier are all Star Cup. I mean, I already mentioned that they were all Star Cup, but even now, with all of these other courses, S tier is just still only Star Cup. That just shows you what's the best track, what's the best cup in the game. Like, come on. Sorry. Mute City. Egg Cup is really consistent, besides one little thing. Most consistent, I mean, this, pretty consistent. Special Cup, these 4 in a row, pretty consistent. Egg Cup is up there, one of the more consistent ones. Oh, I forgot. Lightning Cup is pretty consistent. But anyway, I am off track. Mute City, you go fast. And it's fun. I like to go fast in my Mario Kart tracks. It's fun. And Mute City, I like the little coin energy things at the bottom, like the energy things from F-Zero. I like how they're coin counters. There's not a single coin on the track. I just like going fast, and I like the floaty anti-gravity physics work well. And like especially at the end where you could do like the 200cc shortcuts while floating above the entire part at the end. Feels like a glider section. Also, did you know in the Egg Cup there is not one glider section in the entire cup? If you didn't know that, now you do. Gold Mine. It's probably gonna sit at the right. You know what? It'll sit there. It's good. It's better than the entire Special Cup. But it doesn't get much higher than that. It is pretty good, and that is all. It is not as good as the Mario Kart Wii version, because the carts are not nearly as much of a hazard. In fact, they actually help you in this version for some reason, but in the Wii, they harmed you. And the little side route with the speed boost, little shortcut, actually felt like a shortcut in Wii. But here, it doesn't. So I'm going to put it in the B tier. I also thought that this was in the Wii. I used to hate this in the Wii. But then I realized I had a skill issue. So let's just move on to Rainbow Road. And you know what? We're going to put that in the exact same place. Just one higher. And you can never really mess up this track. You can't. It's good. It's always going to be good. This is the one use of the super thwomps. They actually hurt you no matter what, even if you bump into them. Yeah. Rainbow Road SNES. I like one thing I do like in this version is that now you are above a city or like a town or like the grass, whatever. It's nighttime instead of space. That actually adds some. I forgot to mention that for N64 Rainbow. You're above a city. I like that theme because it's I like it better than the space theme actually, being like above the city, because it's nowadays you're so used to the spacey Rainbow Road. It just feels like the basic theme for Rainbow Road, but I like it when you're above the town because it feels like it's not as common. It's just like a nice little treat. Ice Ice Outpost is kind of painfully average, honestly. It's probably gonna... Jesus, let me drag this. It's probably gonna go right here. Nope, I didn't mean to move that down there. Yoshi Valley doesn't suck that bad. Nice Outpost, it's fine. There's nothing special about it. I feel like I do like how you can hop off the paths, but it's not nearly as like exciting as hopping off the paths like in Rainbow Road. But it's still fun here. Decently fun here. Yeah. I like the shortcuts on the side. That's cool. But other than that, it doesn't have much of anything going on for actually. Now that I think about it. Hyrule Circuit. Now, I'm going to look at this as an actual racetrack than a Zelda track because I have not played Zelda. I probably should get to that at some point. But you know what? Hyrule Circuit. I'll put it right here, actually. I accidentally put it here, but now we just switch these two around. I'm actually completely fine with this placement. It's a perfectly good track. I like how the coins are replaced by rupees because it looks a lot nicer. And I like how the item roulette sound is like when you're opening the chest in Zelda. That's cool. And then I like one thing that I really like is the puzzle, like the anti-gravity puzzle that you have to solve to take the Master Sword shortcut. That is probably one of my favorite shortcuts in the game because it's very unique. It's only there for a few seconds, so you gotta hurry up and take the shortcut because it's hard, especially on 200cc. And forest section's pretty good. Like the twists and turns, and yeah. Oh, what happened? Baby Park's up next. Again, I think I'm gonna put it right where Excitebike is, but I like Excitebike a little more. Baby Park, it's just a circle again. I can't rank it higher, but it still does what it does really well. And here's the thing about Baby Park. I think I would have actually put it higher if it was the Double Dash version. The Double Dash version was so much fun. With all the items flying everywhere. That was genuinely a really good course in Double Dash. And Baby Park, it's still fine here. It's inoffensive. So I'll just put it right here. It sits here. It's not too bad. And considering that it used to be my least favorite track in the game about like 2 years ago, I think it's definitely grew to like it. Cheeseland's really good. Also, to all you people who say, it's going at the top right here. To all you people who say that this is a desert track, no, it's not. It's a cheese track. How is this a desert? There's not one cactus. There's not one pyramid. This isn't even sand. This is cheese. Sand's yellow. Cheese is also yellow. Why does everything yellow have to be sand? This is cheese. And I like the little cheese canyon in the background. Cheese pizza canyons. And I know the original took place on the moon. Moon was made of cheese concept joke. And it had the rats on it. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool theming. But as a track, this is so much better. They added... Okay, here's the thing about I know this is going to be a little off topic. But I'm going to compare this to the Booster Course Pass with where they simplified the GBA tracks. This was quite the opposite. It's like the anti-Booster Course Pack track. Where it actually added stuff. It added shortcuts. 2 shortcut ramps. Actually, 3 shortcuts. And 2 shortcut ramps, though. And it added elevation. It added little cheese holes to trick out of. It added chain chomps. And I know, the moon made a cheese concept. Yeah. Again, going back to that. That was cool. But I like to think of it as this. You see the cheese canyons now. I feel like you're deeper into the cheese planet. I feel like... Think of it this way. You're in a rocket ship. You land on a cheese planet. As soon as you land there, you can still see, Earth and stuff. That's the original Cheese Land. Now, I feel like you've explored the planet. You are now deep in the planet. In, the more urban places of the planet. And this is the modern... And that would be, the modern-day Cheese Land. You're deeper in the planet. Moving on, Wild Woods. This track... Oh. This track is really good. It's really good. You know what? I'm going to do it for now. And if I don't like it, I'll move it down. But right now, it sits as the second best track. I didn't realize this till now, but it's like a short but sweet course. I like the beginning right away. You could see like a little elevator, wood elevator, rising up, so you know your anti-gravity. Again, a case anti-gravity works well. You can see the toads like on the little edges, and right away you're in a giant tree. You're racing on the giant tree. You could take one path, which alright, fine, good, well enough, or you could take the other path, which has grass patches and shortcut potential. Because there's this one actually really cool shortcut where you can take the grass patch at the end of the path, though. And it's cool. It's a cool shortcut, and it's fun. Then you go into a Shy Guy village. You see all the details in the background. And it's just, there's so much going on, and it's cool. But like once you actually piece the pieces together, it's cool. And then once you reach the third section, you're on the river in the little tree branch. So you're exiting the tree. But with this part, you could see like the final section in the background with like the lily pads in the lake. You could see it through the little windows of the tree in the third section. And then you reach the lily pad section, which of course that part's fun too. You trick off the lily pads. And then you go back up. But once you reach outside the lily pads, you're like outside of the tree now for like a very brief second. You could see more of like instead of like the Shy Guy village before, if that was urban, then this part is like suburban. You could see like houses and stuff, but it's not nearly as crowded. Then you drive up back into the tree, repeat. It's a great course. It's so much going on. It's good. Again, another game that I haven't played, Animal Crossing, along with Zelda. Except this time, I think this course is a lot better than the Zelda one. And that's because I like the seasons gimmick. The layout's pretty good. It's simple, but it's good. Spring has like the little ramps at the beginning and the end of the course. I like the beginning because you have the trees falling down with the fruits. The fruits will help you gain speed. And then you have the glider section. You can get items, but they're specifically in the balloons. If you drive down too fast, too early, or if you don't get a balloon, then you don't get an item. Then you go on the beach, which is in every season, which I think is really cool, especially the winter one. The winter in the beach is very cool. Then you have the final section with like the little bridge. You could see the course below you. All this would be cool and all, it would be basic. Would be a B tier. But it's A tier because of the season gimmick, let's be honest. And they bothered to make music for every single section, which is cool. And I like the spring and summer sections well enough. They both are like the kind of like normal ones, like except the spring is like the cherry blossoms and stuff. Nothing to really say about those two, except there's ramps. Fall is cool. It looks really cool. It's during sunset. It's beautiful, and the winter's just beautiful. It's like reminds you of Christmas time. There's Christmas lights. It's snowing out. Sure, the ice physics are slightly annoying, but it's fine. And you know what? That's a good segue. Speaking of ice physics, or slippery physics, Neo Bowser City is next, and this is just a pretty good top of B tier course. There's nothing like this course, I feel like. A Bowser owning a futuristic, unrealistic, maybe realistic in like 100 years from now, city. And although I think it was good in 7, it felt empty in 7. Here, it's no longer empty. It's like the opposite of Music Park. In 7, Music Park was fine. In 8, it feels empty. Neo Bowser City felt empty in 7. And now, it doesn't. I feel like there's more stuff going on now. They have more signs. They have more flashiness. more shortcuts, and more racers, obviously. I don't know. It's just a pretty good course. Go through a little tunnel in the beginning, and then you go for a long tunnel, but it's like clear. That's my favorite part of the course, the clear long tunnel. That's cool. And then there's multiple turns, which is probably the hardest section of turns in the entire Mario Kart series, maybe. I don't know, maybe the entirety of Mario Kart Wii is harder than that. And yes, I'm aware that is a skill issue, but I don't really care. But, you know what? And then you have the final section where it's like, I didn't know this before, but there's like a little countdown at the top, like the signs. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's cool. It's cool. Ribbon Road. Okay. Here's the thing about Ribbon Road. I'm aware it's the best GBA remake. All that. Whatever. I think it's good, but I like Cheeseland more. I'm sorry. I just like Cheeseland a little bit more. Because I just like Cheeseland because I think it's a more fun course. But this is the better remake. You're in a child's bedroom now. You could see the toy set like opened in the background, and you could see all like the Mario Karts like as toys. And you can see this track is like a toy set. And it really feels like that way because you are in like a big like toy castles around you. You jump through them, and then you're on like the little animatronic Mecha Koopas. You know, avoid them. Then you're on like the actual floor. Then you're no longer on like the blue ribbon part with like the waves. You're like on the floor now. You're no longer in like the toy set. You're outside of it. You're on the floor. And then there's like shortcuts. 2 shortcuts that are surprisingly difficult on like a fast CC, that is. And then you glide back, avoid more toys, the Koopa Clown car toys. Then one more shortcut through a castle. And that's it. I will say this. Huge step up from the GBA version of this track. Super Rail Subway is pretty good. I think it goes right here. It's pretty good. I think it's like Sunshine Airport, more like a transportation thing. But this one does it a lot worse. But it's still fun. I like the beginning, like, you know, nothing really going on. You drive through the subway, which is cool enough, but then you see like the little like the sides of this course with like all the options. That's cool. And then you're out the subway, whatever. But then there's this like cool shortcut. You know, I like the waterfall at the top. I like the top of the subway because it feels kind of nice. I don't really have much to say about this track, honestly, if you couldn't tell already. Big Blue is gonna go in S tier. I think it'll go right here. That's a good spot for Big Blue. It's a really good course. It is a really good course. And, you know, lap 1, amazing. The beginning is kind of slow of lap 1, but then you reach the Toad's Factory conveyor belts. And it's really fun. So, yeah, the second half of lap 1 more than makes up for it. And then there's shortcut potentials. Lap 2 is one of the best laps in history. And that part's fun too. You drive through the river. There's multiple shortcuts. There's the ultra shortcut, which is very hard to pull off. And other than that, it's just like more like a water slide, waterfall. Very fun. And then lap 3, the You're back on the Toad's factory conveyors, but there's speed boosts going backwards and forwards. You gotta try to catch them. Then all of a sudden, the ocean's above you instead of below you. So then you gotta drive upwards. Green and purple path. Let's be honest, we're all taking the green path. And because on the green path there is a shortcut where you can again gap, jump all the way to like the final straightaway. Yeah, that's Big Blue. Phenomenal course and phenomenal way to end off the base game. This video is getting long, so what I'm gonna do is I'll do the Booster Course Pass in a separate video and leave it at that. But first, I'm going to check if I want to change anything. I think I'm good here in S tier. I think I tier is good. Now, I kind of want to switch Toad Harbor and TikTok Clock in B tier. But other than that, I think it's good. Baby Park I want to lower too. I think I'm giving it a little too much credit. I think it's better than, this is like the cutoff. The end of Baby Park, this is where the cutoff, I think like these tracks are kind of bad. So you know what? I'll move all of these down to D tier because I don't like these tracks. I'll actually keep Twisted Mansion in C tier. You know what? Twisted Mansion escapes it because this one is not as bad. Or maybe it goes at the top, the very top of D tier. Alright. I'm fine with that. And next time we'll go over the Booster Course Pack. Alright, thank you for watching this video and listening to me talk about Mario Kart. Not even the full game, for like an hour. Oh yeah, thanks for watching, and see you when this video gets uploaded.